In this video, I'm going to show you how I take this pencil drawing right here and turn it into this graphic for screen printing. Now, this is a pencil drawing that a customer submitted to me. You may have old pencil drawings that you have that you want to turn into t-shirts, or you're a screen printer like me and get stuff like this. As you can see, we're going to get started. 96 pixels per inch is not enough for screen printing. It should be at least 300 in my experience. So what we're going to do first to make this easier and better to work with is go up to image size, and we're going to res it up, increase the resolution of it. I'm going to go all the way to 1200 just to give us max control, 1200 pixels per inch, and I want to preserve the details. You can see if you pick nearest neighborhood, for example, it's a little more pixelated and blurry. I want to keep as much detail as possible, especially since it's somebody else's drawing. So we're resing it up 1200, preserve details enlargement. Okay. You can see how much bigger it made it. So now the first thing I want to do, this is our background. I want to keep that as the original art. This is going to be our working layer right here. So the first thing I want to do is desaturate it. There's a few ways to do that. You can go up to adjustments, hue saturation, or command U, control U on Windows. I'm on a Mac, so everything as I say is going to be command. You can desaturate it. You can do shift command U, and that'll do it too. You just want to desaturate the image. Now the next thing I want to do is increase the contrast a little bit. I want to bring up the darkness of the pencil and the brightness of the paper. I want to make the pencil more black and the paper more white. I'm going to start doing that by increasing the contrast. Play with the brightness a little bit. I think that looks good. And a lot of this is going to be using the sliders to play with it to see what looks the best. And it'll give you the best result. I'm going to start there. Then I'm going to come up and do another for a second time. A little more contrast. And you can see it's already starting to look a little more inky, for lack of better words. So there we are. All we did was increase the contrast of the image. Desaturate it, increase the contrast. Now we're going to do that a little more, but we're going to use curves this time. You can do Command M, come up under image, and select curves. And we're going to do the same thing. We're really trying to push up the blacks and up the whites, all while preserving as much detail as we can in the drawing. So I'm going to start with the darks and bring it up, up, up. You can see it start to get cloudy in there. Bring it, and at that point, when I see it start getting pretty cloudy, move this so I can see. I'm going to bring up the highlights, bring up the white, bring it up, up, which slides it back towards the middle. Up, up, up. You can see it getting cleaner and clearer, less texture, more white. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to bring up the shadows a little more, the darks. Then I'm going to bump back the highlights again and again. I'm just playing back and forth, trying to see what looks the best and preserves the most detail. And this is going to take your opinion and experience to figure out what looks the best for each, and it's going to depend on the drawing too. So that looks pretty good right there. I think we got a lot of detail around the head, a lot of detail in the arm or the legs. I think that's pretty good right there. And now what I'm going to do, let's compare it to the original. I don't think we've lost a whole lot of detail there. You know, that looks pretty good. That looks like a drawing. It gives a little texture in the shaded areas. Zoom in a little, see how it looks. I mean, that's pretty good to me. I mean, it's a pencil drawing. I want it to look hand-drawn. I don't want super crisp lines. I think we kept the detail in the head pretty dang good. You know, you see that the noise in there? I like that. It makes it look like it's more hand-drawn to me, more handmade. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to select the white again of this and delete it. All right, let me put a white background in here. I'm going to add a layer with the plus sign. Come over here and put white on our main palette there. Get the bucket tool and make that background there white. So there's a lot of noise here on the outside here that I want to get rid of. If you look, we can move it around. You see that? So what's easier for me is to take the lasso tool and just crop this out, cut it out, and copy that. Shift Control V to paste it, and then get rid of this layer. We're done with that now, and that got rid of all the noise. So now one issue we have here, and you could come in here and zoom in, take your eraser tool and clean that up, all this little, but like I said, I like that, a lot of that in there. You can clean it up here and there, but I'm gonna leave that pretty much as is. So you can see how in the original drawing we're missing this, they got cut off there. So I'm gonna try to add those back in, show you how I would do that as well. I'm gonna make it a little smaller so I could see the edges. Now what I'm gonna do is to try to keep the integrity of their drawing, is I'm gonna take a little piece of their octopus, find a curve that would fit pretty good right there, select it, copy, Command C, and then Command V or Control V for paste. And I'm gonna use that little piece to fit there. And that's gonna preserve the look of their drawing. I'm gonna rotate it around, enlarge it, and all that to try to get it to fit like that. And then I'm gonna come and clean up, come to this original layer right here. But that looks pretty good. I mean, there's not much cleanup to do, but I can do some cleanup. Get the eraser tool, make sure you have the right layer selected, and come in and try to smooth that out. You see that? I'm getting rid of that layer that I don't need anymore. Just make it look nice and smooth. To me, that looks good. That looks good. And then I might even see if I could use this for the other side. Command C, Command V, or you can duplicate that layer, and we're going to flip it around and drag it over there as well. What I'm going to do is rotate it and try to fit it in there nice, make it a little smaller. I think that's real good. So there, I mean, oh, we need this little tip here. You see that little tip? We're missing the tip, so let's fit that in. So what I can do is I'm gonna merge all these layers now. Select each one, layer 3, layer 4, layer 5, Command E, or right click and merge layers. And that's, our whole octopus is there. But I need this little tippy tip back. So I'm gonna grab a tip right there from this other leg. And luckily we have these things in the image already. You may have to redraw or recreate them if we didn't. And I'm going to try and fit that in there too. And I feel like that's going to, see how that looks? I feel like that looks pretty good. I mean, looks like their original drawing. And like I said, you can come clean all this up if you want to. I like to leave it sometimes, especially if it's hand drawn. So now we have the layer there. Let's merge these. Command E. Select them both and Command E. You can come in here, you could add a little stroke. You can open up the layer style, go to stroke, change it to black obviously. Whoa, that gets crazy. But you can, if you want to thicken up the black lines a little bit, darken it up, if you want to. I mean, that looks good, pretty good to me, depending on how dark you want to make it. I think that looks perfect. And there's your black line art right there. And again, let's compare it to our original. To me, that looks pretty dang good. That looks like hand drawn. This is ready to be printed on a film and screen printed as a one color black print. But this customer wanted it on black shirts, so he wanted the print to be white. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna duplicate this white layer by dragging it down to the plus sign. Boom, that gives us 2. And here's our, we'll do black on white, just so we have a white background back there. And we're going to combine these two. Again, by selecting them both, Command E, or right click and merge. That merged them all. So I want to add another layer of white background. Okay, so now you can see what we have there. So now what I want to do is select the magic wand tool right here again and check contiguous. Before, when I selected the white, I always had contiguous unchecked, so it selects all the white in the document, in the image. Contiguous only selects what is touching each other. So see, you could see it, how it goes around the outside like that, rather than, I lost some in there, some of the white in there, so it was touching that part. So what I want to do now is, with it selected and the background turned off so I could see what I'm doing, is take this eraser tool, come in here and erase it. You can blow this up real big around these parts. And I like to lift up on the cursor. You can see I didn't do it before, just so if I need to undo, I can and don't lose what I did. I'm unclicking as I go around so I can undo if I need to. And then here's where I got to be careful, because this is where it was connecting. So I'm just going to come up real tight there. And I think the eraser is doing that because I've blown up my cursor so you'd be able to see it. Alright, now that we got the outline of it, everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and erase everything else. Erasing all the white around it. And now, like we did before, so there's our white filled octopus. So now I'm going to do a black background so you can see it better. Change this to black and white. Get your bucket tool. Boom, make it white. Alright, I think that's good. That's our white graphic there. White on black, but I want to take it a step further, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a white stroke around this whole thing. But before that, if you see, if I try to do that now, adding a white stroke to the outside, it's a little too tight. I want these lines thicker here on the outside right there. I want those to be thicker, so what I'm going to do first is do a little black stroke. And then add another stroke and make that one white. You can see how that gave us a little more, and I can come back and thicken the outside line up a little bit, which I like a little better. I'm going to add the white stroke a little bigger, and I'm going to see these little bumps. We're going to clean that up right now. So if you weren't, before, now that I'm doing it on white, I'll clean up all those little bumps, but I was going to leave them in the original black on white drawing. Got my eraser again. I'm just going to come in here until I see them disappear. It's going to run along the edge, and what I'm doing is deleting those little black specks that were there. You might be able to see it easier if you turn this off and then turn the strokes off there, and then just come in and really get them. Cut a little too deep there. It's hard with my cursor enlarged. It's throwing the eraser tool off a little bit. And not every drawing you'll have to come and do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete it out of there, because we got that box around there that I had to edge, and repaste it. Add the strokes back. That's looking pretty good. That's how it's done. See, this one I left a little more detail in it than the final one. This is my final one. And like I said, it's going to come out different each time you play with it. I like how that came out too. But here, it might be a little more dramatic lighting on that one. But yeah, that's the process. We're really just bumping up the contrast of the original drawing and then selecting the black and deleting out the white. And that leaves you with what we have there. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, I'm not the best teacher at walking through these step-by-steps, but there's the original. There's that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you. Until next time, I'll see you later.